Have you been out shopping for furniture lately? It's crazy. Today on Woodworking with Wes, I'm going to show you how to build a simple, solid wood and inexpensive nightstand with just your table saw and your screw gun. I'll show you how to build this budget-friendly nightstand using pine. This is a simple design and it's perfect for beginners and a great way to practice your woodworking skills without breaking the bank. This is one of the sides for our nightstand. It's 24 inches tall and 16 inches deep. Now, I glued this piece up, but you can buy pre-glued panels from your big box store. And if you don't have the ability to glue up your own and sand them out, then that's a way to go. Once I got it cut to size, I put some dados in that will allow me to line up my shelves. And I have one along the back here. I'm going to show you the purpose for that in just a minute. I have one more dado cut to cut. Now, I have my stacked dado set in here. I own a stacked dado set, but if you don't, you can make this cut just one blade at a time and just set it up and go along. So you don't need to have a dado set. Again, just a table saw and a screw gun. Dado set was just something I happened to have. But let's go ahead and make our next cut with our dado set. Now that I have my dados done for my shelf, I don't want my dado to go clear through. I'm going to add a little piece of wood to the front of it here, a 1/2 inch strip, just like this, because I want to hide my dado joint that is going to be there. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put a bead of glue across the face of our panel, like that. And we're going to put on this 1/2 inch strip, and we're just going to use our blue tape clamp. I've got it all set up here, and I've got my blue tape pieces already ready to go. I'm going to do it like that. That 1/2 inch piece, once the glue is dry, will make a nice face to our panel, just like that. Okay, we'll wait for the glue to dry. Once our glue is dry, we can take our tape off and now sand it out. So let's go ahead. We're going to sand it 100 grit first. Pine is very soft, so it sands very easily and very quickly. We have 100 grit sandpaper. We're going to go ahead and get this all sanded down, front and back, and then we're going to sand it with 150 grit for our final sand. Let me go ahead and get it sanded up. Okay, our panel is all sanded inside and out. I took a little bit of other edge, sorry. This is the bottom. This is going to be the top. On the bottom side, I rounded the outside of the panels just a little bit. This is going to sit down on the floor, and I didn't want to have any splintering. And by just taking a little bit of a break on the panel, it eliminates any possibility of that chipping out. Okay, we're ready for the shelves. Let's take a look. I want to show you the shelf. We're going to talk about several different things. This part of our shelf right here is a support piece that goes across the back. This is not going to have a solid 1/4 inch back. So we needed something to keep our cabinet firm from going this way. And that is where our back dado comes into play. Let me show you how this shelf fits. This is the top of our shelf, bottom, underneath side of our shelf. And our shelf fits into our dado like that. You can see how now our front piece that we just put on covers our joint there on the front, so it looks a little cleaner. And our back dado allows our support piece to go in. And here's how our shelf looks from underneath and how it looks from the top. And it's already fairly solid just inside the dado. But we're going to use our screw gun now to make it solid. Now, with our countersink lined up with our dado, once the shelf is in here, we'll put some screws in here and plug these holes, and that is how we're going to anchor our shelves. Let me go ahead and get finished out. Let's get the bottom part of this put together. All right, we've got our countersinking done. Here's our shelf. Our shelf fits in our dado. An 1¼ inch grabber screws in our countersink. And there we are, starting to put it together. Let's go around and look at the front, or in the inside. You can see how nice that sucks that in, nice and tight in the dado. This will be very strong because it's very tight in the groove there. And once we get this all finished, we'll put some walnut buttons in there. It'll really set that off. Okay, we have the sides, the 2 shelves put together, again attached by our screws through the side. We now have to put the top on it. I'm going to show you how to build the top, but we don't want to have countersinks through the top. I'm going to show you how we're going to attach the top to keep the top nice and clean and yet easy to assemble. We've got the top already sanded out. I've sanded on 3 sides. It is 3/4 inch longer than our cabinet, so it'll be a 3/4 inch overhang on the front and a 3/4 inch overhang on each side. Remember, we don't want to have any screw holes in the top of it, so let me show you what we're going to do. I'm going to add a little cleat to the underneath side that we're going to screw to the top of this and then screw into the side of our nightstand from the inside. You won't see this, it'll be on the inside. Let me show you how we're going to put that on. I have a line marked on the underneath side of my top where I'm going to mount our cleat. I'm going to line that up just like that. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on our line. We don't want a lot because we don't want any squeeze out of any kind. So we're going to put a little bit of glue on there and put it there in place. I'm going to clamp this in place just so that it doesn't move while I put the screws in it. Don't mind my hands getting in the way. Okay, we need to make sure we got that lined up with our line, flush with the back. There we go. We'll put one in the front also. Got to make sure we keep that on the line. That's the reason I'm clamping it, is to make sure it stays in place while I put my screws in, because it has a tendency to want to go its own way. Sometimes in woodwork, we don't want things to go their own way. We want them to go the way we want them to go. All right. No wandering about. Okay. We won't plug these holes. They're countersunk, so we won't see the screw heads, but we won't plug them. Okay, I'll go ahead and get the other one put on, and then I'll show you how it goes on our nightstand. Okay, we have our other one clamped in place, just like we did before. Tighten them down. There we go. Now you can see how those cleats allow us to anchor our top from the inside with no screws on the top. Let's go ahead and put a screw in, show you how it works. Very simple. We hold it down tight. Just like that. We'll go ahead and put all the screws in all the way around, and our top is on. Well, our little nightstand came out pretty nice. We're going to be giving it a clear lacquer finish. Let that beautiful pine color come through. And we're going to see you next time on Woodworking with Wes.